Good afternoon, my ELCS 8325 friends. Happy spring break if you happen to be on spring break. Happy March 14th. I think that's what today is. Um, I first of all need to apologize for having taken so long in responding to your personal leadership style reflections. I just finished going through them. I've kind of been going through them in spurts. And I think it's fascinating to see what all you guys are learning about yourselves. Many of you have taken other leadership style or personality style quizzes in the past, and some of you found similarities in your previous results, but many of you found some differences in your results. And I think that's really interesting. Um, I was also interested to see how many of you feel like you are truly an introvert, but in your work, you're an extrovert. On many of your discussion boards, I commented that Susan Cain has a great book, sorry, called Quiet, The Power of Introversion in a World That Won't Stop Talking. It's kind of a popular psychology book, but I've read the book, and I would show you my copy, which is highly annotated and full of sticky notes. But I've loaned it to a colleague. But she writes in there how for so many of us, introversion is our natural state, but when we work at doing something about which we are passionate, we can be extroverted. I know for me, that's what happens. When I tell professional colleagues that I'm an introvert, they're usually very shocked. But if they knew me in my personal life, they'd see how true it is. I'm not that way professionally. Another book that I would encourage you guys to look into at some point is a book by a guy named Cal Newton. It's called Deep Work, and it's all about how many of us struggle these days to focus and get into what Newport calls deep work, what Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called flow. Because of the number of distractions that abound in our society today, Newport focuses specifically on digital distractions like email, like this screen that you guys are seeing that I'm sharing with you that keeps changing, that kind of thing. Facebook, all kinds of social media, just anything digital. It's a really powerful read. The reason that I have this screen up for you is because one of the things that I'm noticing in your writing is that sometimes, that's my calendar, you don't care about that. Sometimes you guys are posting these reflections, it feels to me like before you've read through them yourself. And that again, that ties into the notion of deep work and focused work. And I feel like that's so important for all of us to remember on these discussion boards. And when I say that you're maybe not reading over it, the reason I say that is because I'm seeing lots of errors in your writing. Errors that you can find by reading over it or by using the tools on Microsoft or Grammarly. That's okay. So now I'm getting to this website that you can see. Grammarly is a free tool that you can use to edit your writing to make sure that it's completely accurate and correct before you post it. So I've emailed several of you today to share with you this encouragement, because the closer you get to writing your doctoral thesis, the more you need to be focused on the correctness of your academic writing. So I'm going to take that off of the screen because it's really distracting. So now you just get me. So Grammarly is a free tool that you can use. You can download it to your desktop or your laptop. It is, if you go into the Blackboard course that is for all of our graduate students in the College of Education. You'll also see a link to it there. I need you guys to really be conscientious about the correctness of your writing. Part of the reason I say that is because I'm the final approver in the curriculum and instruction department on the things that you upload into my advisor. So your doctoral thesis proposal abstract, your doctoral thesis final abstract. I don't want to have to reject them because they have errors in them. But if they do have errors in them, I have to reject them. So get in the habit of using these tools, you guys. Okay, so enough about that. So I just finished, like I said, reading through all of your leadership style discussion posts. Next up for me today is to read through your legislation projects. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have found out, what you've been able to track. I know I am a board member for the Texas Council of Teachers of English Language Arts, and we have our Literacy Advocacy Day coming up in, I think, 2 weeks. As a member of the executive committee of our board, I just took some time this morning to read through the different bills that we're possibly going to advocate either for or against in a couple of days. So it's a process that is, I'll say, near to my heart, not necessarily dear to my heart. Sometimes advocating requires that we be extroverts, which is sometimes difficult for me, but I do think it's really important for us to speak up as educators. So I look forward to working on reading through those today and tomorrow. I know that you all are working on reading your instructional coaching books. I looked through the list today of books that you want to read and review, and I'm excited about seeing what you guys all learn. That's going to be really interesting. And then finally, I wanted to remind you that I put on the syllabus, we're going to have our final meeting together on April 29th via Zoom. But I think that I'm probably going to send out a doodle poll here in the next couple of days to find out when would be the best time for us to meet on Zoom, for us to share our final thoughts. You still have, in addition to the instructional coaching book that you're going to read and review, you have a couple of more things. So you're going to be submitting your 2-day workshop plan and outline by April 1st. And then your final paper is going to be about your leadership and coaching vision and plan, and then we'll have that roundtable discussion. So I know several of you have mentioned how you appreciated being able to get together either in person or on Zoom. If you guys are feeling the need for a get-together, please let me know and I'll send out a doodle poll to schedule something online. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. The weather looks to be pretty nice outside. I'm going to continue working on the discussion board. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate the work that you guys are putting into this course.